Hello everyone, and welcome to my tier ranking of the bosses from Star Fox 64. I had so much fun playing through Star Fox 64 and doing a tier ranking of the levels that, honestly, I just haven't completely scratched that itch yet. I wanted to do more, so I came upon this tier list and I thought, hey, why not? Let's go ahead and rank the bosses. So what is my criteria for ranking these fellas here? Well, memorability, how cool I think the design is, how much did they annoy me, how much do I enjoy listening to the jibber jabber that comes out of the boss as you fight them, and lastly, I suppose, would I give it my stamp of approval in thinking that, okay, this belongs in the game? Alright, so let's get started with the very first boss we all encountered at the end of Corneria. This fella here. You know, I am wrestling right now so hard on whether to put him in A or B. If he would land in A, it would have everything to do with how memorable he is. I mean, he's walking around in this clunky fucking Power Rangers robot, shooting these pathetic missiles at you that go about 3 miles per hour. I mean, even after you blow his fucking leg off and he's just laying in the grass, he's spouting off lines like, "I'm going to crush you! I'm going to crush you!" Even though he's the easy boss on the first level, he talks to you as if he is the last boss on the last level. My Emperor! I failed you! I swear to God, I'm putting him in A. I don't even give a flying fuck. It just doesn't feel right to put him in B. Now, this is the kind of boss where the criteria is so heavily slanted towards memorability and admirability that it completely overshadows how easy he is to defeat. I know if you're going off a different criteria of just like, how fun is this battle, how challenging is this battle, then yeah, this dude, you could easily make an argument that this is F tier, but I'm not going to do that. Someone wants to play. Okay, the other boss that you see on Corneria if you follow Falco through the waterfall, and you're on your path to Sector Y, right? I don't find him nearly as memorable or charismatic as the boss in A. I don't even know that I can really call the boss in A a boss. He's more like a wannabe boss. It's like he's trying to earn his stripes. He's like the little engine that couldn't. But, I admire his effort and his balls so much that I have to put him in A. But, this guy, I just don't find him nearly as memorable, so I'm going to just keep him in C. Who are you guys? We're Star Fox. You'll never defeat Andross! Alright, the next monkey. This is the one you face in the Asteroid belt. I'm throwing him in D. I know a lot of people have a fondness for this boss. I know a lot of people like the look of this ship, and they're amused by the monkey that talks to you, and I am too a little bit. The monkey that talks to you, that might even be a reason to upgrade this into C. I'd say 2/3 of this fight I find very nonsensical. I don't like the rotating shield that only shoots at you if you shoot it. I don't like the electricity that zaps only straight in front of it. However, I do like the purple swirls that are fired at you because that can be a little difficult to avoid, and that's the only part that makes sense for me. I'm still going to leave it in D tier. I can't believe I lost to this scum! Sorry to jet, but I'm in a hurry. This fucking white Rock'em Sock'em robot. Alright, now we have our first F tier. The design of this, I would say, is fucking A or B tier. But I hate fighting this dick so much that I'm throwing him in F tier. Asshole. I also find the voice acting from him to be the most annoying of any boss in the game by far. And then ultimately, he stops doing what's working for him. This guy's greatest asset is his ability to dart and zip all over the place and evade your shots. But then all of a sudden he's confident enough to just stand still on his ship and shoot at you with his pistol. And then you just fucking shoot him dead as soon as he does that. I'm taking damage! Alright, Anyway, moving on to the Star Wolf fight. I always look forward to getting to any Star Wolf engagement. All four of them. I like the design of all four of the characters and everything they say. I think it's excellent, and I'm throwing this in A tier.
Daddy screamed real good before he died. And the great Leon bow before the great Andross. What the heck? 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 My beautiful reward! What the heck? What the heck? I can't move!
The only reason I'm not throwing this in S tier is because I want to reserve that for the second Star Wolf battle, which I'll get to. So spoiler alert, but the second Star Wolf battle is going to go in S tier. Okay. The mothership on Titania. If we're just going off the mothership itself, there's nothing to fight. You just shoot a bunch of hatches. But what I am bringing into the fold here is the fact that this thing throws dozens of enemy ships at you. Albeit very easy ships, but nonetheless, it's a lot to shoot at, and I enjoyed immensely. So with all of that included, I'm throwing the mothership in B. I can't deny the feelings of joy I get when there is so much to shoot at. And, you know, it's a big fucking mothership. It's like Independence Day, so what's not to love about that? Of course it's going to land higher up the list just on what the fuck it is. Moving on to the bioweapon in Aquas. My least favorite level, but I do think the boss is pretty cool looking. It's like a giant clam with an eyeball in the middle of it. It doesn't talk back to you, but that's fine. Doesn't have to. I'm going to give this one a B. It is pretty fucking dark at the bottom of that ocean, so you can get hit pretty easily by these white balls this thing constantly throws at you. I mean, this thing is just obsessed with throwing balls at you. And these snakeoid creatures that come out the top of it. If you were in a little submarine and you encountered this thing, you'd probably shit your pants. And the smell in that submarine would be so bad you'd fucking choke to death and die. Alright, this fucking AI bot that you see in Sector X. This thing is like Hal from 2001 A Space Odyssey, the voice character that talks to you throughout the battle. I like that it's just this upper half of a robot torso with this robotic voice talking to you that's just programmed to destroy.
Destroy.
I really like all that. I'm going to give this boss mid B tier.
I must be complete.
I do appreciate how he pimp slaps Slippy onto another planet. You know, major points for him for that. Okay, now the bioweapon that you face on the surface of the goddamn sun. Not really sure what the hell Andross was thinking, creating a bioweapon boss to just sit there on the surface of the sun, but what the fuck ever. This is a video game about a bunch of little animal creatures flying spaceships, so you really shouldn't think too hard about it. I'm also giving this one B tier. His look, his design, that's what wants to push him way up higher on this tier list, but I'm keeping him right where he's at because, you know, just the engagement and the gameplay for him is just kind of basic and standard. You shoot off his arms, and then you shoot his fucking head off. But he does some really awesome shit. I love the animation, how he swipes at you. I love how he dives really hard into the lava and creates a giant tidal wave of lava. And then toward the end, when he gets desperate, he like spirals upward with lava just flying out of his fucking stub arms. Now, the boss that you face in Zonus, I always thought this looked like a monkey in a Santa Claus hat while he's laughing like a pirate at you. I'm going to give him B tier. There is a slight annoyance factor with him. It gets a little tedious shooting his fucking pipes and his cranes and all of his bullshit with bombs constantly. I think this one drags on a little longer than it needs to, but I think he's a very memorable boss. I think the design of his ship is really cool. He's just in this very elaborate looking submarine that emerges out of sewage water. I especially think it's ridiculous how he announces when he's throwing the ball and chain at you. Okay, like if you're about to shoot at somebody, maybe don't clue them in that you're about to shoot them with a very slow moving object.
Fire! Fire! No!
think the common theme with all these guys right here is the design. I especially appreciate for all of them. And the ones that do talk, I like what they say and how they say it. All right, moving on to the boss of Titania. All right, another one that is going to land in B tier because I really like the design of it. Very unique. You know, this looks like the kind of thing you would see drawn in a Chinese restaurant. Everything you encounter on Titania is like some sort of acid trip. This is another one that doesn't have a character that talks to you, but that's all well and good. It's better if some of them don't talk. It almost looks like it's wearing a fucking Majora's Mask or something. I do appreciate that it puts Slippy in timeout so I don't have to listen to all her bullshit. All right. This boss here. Okay, well, I didn't think about this until now, but when I initially saw this picture, I was just seeing the hawk. I didn't even think of the train conductor. We don't have two pictures that separate one from the other, so I'm just going to consider it all one boss. You know what? It's fucking S. MacBeth is one of my favorite levels in the game. I love listening to the train conductor and all of his antagonizing and just throughout the whole level. It's unique in that it's a boss that you face off against throughout the entire level from beginning to end. And then when you do get to the end, after you've shot the shit out of his train, he's got something for you he didn't expect to have to use. This robot hawk that has some pretty interesting moves. I think it's pretty awesome. But if you shoot the 8 switches to open the lock, I love that the train changes course and crashes into its own depot. And I love how this very fucking expensive looking hawk, it just so unceremoniously is taken out by a fucking door frame when fighting it just head on is a very kind of difficult thing to do. So you put in combination the train conductor, the hawk, everything the train conductor says, just the whole thing. This is just such a big reason why I love the MacBeth levels so much, and I can't help but put this motherfucker in S tier. All right, moving on. Okay, well, this is nothing but a fucking pillar with buttons on it. I'm just going to throw it in D- and move the fuck on. Okay, the boss you encounter at the end of Sector 6. Well, to tell you the truth, I got actually really fucking annoyed fighting this thing on expert difficulty. I almost spiked my controller into the floor several times. But after I beat him, I felt a satisfaction factor with this one that I hadn't felt really with any of the other bosses, aside from what would follow on Venom. So there's something majorly to be said about that. I think I really owe it to this fella here to give him A tier, because he is very cryptic. He has a cool design. Pain in the ass, but along with that comes great reward in beating him. So I can't help but give him A tier. Okay, moving on to the Star Wolf battle on Venom. Okay, well, you all knew this was coming. This is S tier, and it's at the top S tier. This is probably my favorite part about Star Fox 64.
Give it up!
The challenge of them on Venom, especially on expert difficulty, I found to be a task that I could not complete. After trying a dozen times, I failed every single time, but it was such an arduous task, such a challenge that I wanted to keep on coming back to it. If I ran out of R-Wings, I'd have to start the game over, but I didn't mind doing that because Star Fox is a fun game to play, and I would play through it all again just to get the Star Wolf on the hard version of Venom to fight them again.
Scared out of something here! The party's just begun! No!
Shit! I haven't done it yet, and I'm still giving this the top of S tier. You know, I'd love to hear in the comments section what you guys think of each of the members of the Star Wolf team. Like, which one of those fuckers is your favorite? I think Leon is my favorite. Just like the monocle-wearing frog, you know? I just think he's funny. They're all great, though. All right, moving on to Andross. So I'm gonna give it the back of A tier. I'm leaving this fucking skull down here. That's ridiculous. That shouldn't even be here. Everybody's fucking talking about Andross. Every boss you encounter is talking about how much they love Andross, how they want to serve him, how they want to suck his dick. Who is this mysterious floating monkey head in the green mist? Well, I like the lead up to him, although it doesn't make any goddamn sense whatsoever, because you're traveling down this corridor in a plane, and these doors just open for you. All Andross has to do is not allow the door to fucking open, and you're dead. I mean, obviously, they're trying to kill you in this corridor because somebody went through the trouble of installing these electricity currents. Anyway, it's a nice lead up to face Andross himself, and I like how you see his silhouette when you pass through that last door, just for a moment. And then he emerges and he's laughing at you and he's all up in your shit, and he's fucking easy. But his face reappears at the end of the credits because you didn't go about doing this the way you were supposed to, supposedly. Now, if you face Andross from the left side of the solar system, instead of him turning into a skull face, he turns into a brain. I love it that there's two versions of Andross, a fake one and a real one. If you do fight the real one, I'm giving that. You know what? I am going to give it S tier. You know, I can still remember as a kid when I first reached Andross from the left side of the solar system. It's something I will never forget. And after you kill his ass, you get the whole thing with James McLeod and all that stuff. Just really great. I've yet to reach Andross in his true form on expert difficulty because I just can't get past Star Wolf on Venom. I'm kind of curious how that's going to play out when I do arrive and meet my father, James McLeod. Is he going to have different dialogue if he sees me wearing his sunglasses? Don't ever give up, my son. Why are you wearing my sunglasses, my son? Alright, everyone, and before I close it out, I think I'm going to make just a couple of small changes. I'm going to move the giant Independence Day ship up into A- tier, because I find myself just having so much fun constantly tapping A and blowing the shit out of all these enemy ships. I'm also going to upgrade the Skeleton Dragon to the top of B tier above all the others. As I said, these 5 enemies share a commonality with each other in that I love the design of all 5 of them. The fights themselves are pretty standard, but it's the look of all of these characters that earn them into B tier. Now, whoever made this tier maker of these bosses forgot one little thing. They forgot the boss that's running away from you in the temple at the end of Venom. So I'm just going to do a little effect here and fade that into where I think it goes. I think this boss is more fun to shoot than most of the others on this list. They've isolated each part of his body to break apart individually as you shoot at it, including his ass. And it's also weird how when you shoot his head, which you save for last, that it looks like blood and brains are flying out of it. I mean, did they just add that in at the last minute? Somebody just clicked on his head and turned up the red dial on that without asking permission? But just the whole way that fight works is unique and interesting to me. How he's always running away from you, and you never see the front of him either, so it's all left up to your imagination. He doesn't talk to you, you don't know where he comes from, you don't know what he is. There's some sort of a robotic android cyber skeleton underneath of his outer shell. Just adds to the intrigue and crypticness of him. He definitely is considered a boss. If we have a fucking rotating dick satellite as a boss on here, then we sure as hell are going to include the boss that runs away from you in the temple. I mean, by the logic of this fucking dick on Bolsey, what, should we put the fucking Sector Z missiles in here too? I'm putting the Independence Day ship above Andross. Okay, now it's perfect. If you made it all the way through this video, I really appreciate you watching, and I would love to see what you think of these bosses and your own ranking of them in the comments section below. And wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Or night.